the most important things in any facet of an organization, any facet of this university, is we all have to pull together. And we can be in athletics and doing one thing, but when your president of your university comes and represents himself and represents us here, Dr. Barron, I thank you. And I don't know if Molly is with you or not, but Dr. Barron and Molly, Randy Spetman, and I hope that you're Randy. Everybody that's here. We have a provost. That's the first time that's the closest I've ever been to provost, even when I went to college. I've never been around the provost. I was learning something today. But I used to hide from them. They were looking for me. But just everybody in the organization, our trustees, our board of trustees, Andy Hyder, Les Pantine, and all the folks that are here, and Jim Smith, and all the guys that have given us great help in the past, and just representing us and allowing us to do the things we do. Because you can't just be a football coach, you can't just be an athletic department. You have to be a whole university. We understand that when football does well here, we're the largest window in which this university is being able to be judged and seen. And it's marketing that you can't pay for. I mean, you couldn't afford the marketing to put us on TV, that much of representation. And we understand that role in which we play. We take it very seriously because it's not just about Florida State football. We're the window in which the whole world sees us. And then when everyone comes here to see Florida State, they're able to grab the rest of the university, see how great we are academically, see how great the people are, see how great everything and every other sport that is going on here. And we cherish that, and we understand our role in that. And but having your support allows us to do what we do. Now, saying all that, today was a very big day, and it's the first stage, in my opinion, of what the three stages of coaching, which you always hear me talk about. Number one is recruiting. You have recruiting, player development, and coaching. But I'm going to tell you something. You can't take a donkey to the Kentucky Derby. It's hard. It didn't work that way. You have to be able to recruit. You have to be able to get players. You have to be able to get guys that can do the things you got to do. And I was very proud of the group we had today. I thought we addressed a lot of needs in which we went after. I think we saw a player recruited in every position throughout. Everybody says, did you get everybody you want? You never get everybody you want. You never, ever, ever get everybody you want. There's always guys out there, but that's what keeps you coming back. But I think the other thing today, the hats off to the staff of which they're in here. And I'll introduce them as they come up and be able to speak here in a little bit. But you talk about guys hitting the ground running. They were able to get here. Almost everybody got here right in the middle of December or right at the beginning of January. It was only, you had 2 or 3 visits left to be able to go and put your personality on a guy and the guys, the recruits we already had. And then they not only did that and held the guys in which we already had in this class, they were able to open up doors on guys in which we had that we didn't even were able to get in, and then go get some very top quality guys that allowed us to do that. And I think the ability for, as I say, sometimes the head coach, your job sometimes is to coach the coaches, because you have to understand their philosophy and what you believe and the things you got to do. I didn't have to do that. These guys have a lot of the same philosophical things and believe the same things in which I do, and you were able to say, sick them and go. And they went after it and were looking for work, found ways, and I think made this class very, very good. But, you know, through our class, we're able to have a great balance of people today. 10 guys on one side, 9 guys on the other. We always had 2 guys already that came in early, and that were able to get in our class. But, you know, we went throughout our class. We had to have a need everywhere. I thought some of our greatest needs were running back. We were able to address that, and we'll talk about that. I thought we always have to have a great quarterback, which I felt like we got in this class. Playmakers at receiver. I thought we got a lot of speed. I thought we had guys that were very dynamic. And like I say, some guys can get first down, some guys change numbers on the scoreboard. I think the guys we got today changed numbers on the scoreboard. They're very dynamic, very explosive. We're always getting for offensive linemen. You can never have enough of those guys. We were able to get 3 great guys today. And Richie Kleppel, however, depending what his situation turns out to be, maybe have 4, but we've got 3 great guys there. The defensive line group, which I always say, you got those guys that put their hand in the dirt, dictate what goes on. We're able to get 4 guys there, 1 defensive tackle, 3 defensive ends. The guy who lost 3 defensive ends this year, great guys that I think we were able to replenish. Linebackers was a great need. We were able to get 5 of those guys. And there was some sweating going on a couple of those guys, but we got some very high quality guys in my opinion. Tight end, we were able to get Jeremy with Mr. Kerr. We were able to get there, a big physical guy on the end. And then in the secondary, we have to have corners. Corners set the parameters of the defense. You have to have guys who want to blitz and play all those games and do all those things y'all want us to do and blitz and sack the quarterback. Those corners got a lot of pressure on them. And we were able to get 2 great corners. I think we were able to get a great safety today. And one of my favorite guys in the class, a guy named Andrew. We all know the other guys. Marquez White, some of the guys that are maybe not spoken about as much along with Jalen Ram. Some of those guys I think are very, very special guys, and we'll talk about them individually. But overall, I thought it was a great day for Florida State. I thought we won a lot of head-to-head battles today going in that were very crucial, that were make or break days. And people said, did you know? No, I didn't. Maybe on the outside you might have thought I did, but on the inside we didn't. We were able to win those battles. And again, not only to our coaches, but when you're able to recruit to such a great university that has so much to sell, it allows you to go after those guys and make an impression on them. Our coaches, again, did a great job in that facet. But, we were happy. We're extremely happy with what we did. I'll introduce our coaches as we go, and we'll divide each guy, and we'll talk about them a little bit, and I'll talk about each coach, so I won't be up here too long. I'd like to say a special thank you to my wife and children. My two boys had to come up and introduce themselves to me today. I hadn't seen them 2 weeks. The train grew about 2 inches, each grew about 1.5 inches. I didn't even reckon. They come by me today, and I said, whose kids are those? They were able there. My wife, Candy, who now she's back in bed. She was happy while I was going. Now it's midnight. I'll be back home. If we stay together all year long, we would have some issues, probably. But we're able to do that. But you guys put up with me and work, understand. But it was great, and it was great to see them today and get to spend some time with family time. But the thing about it is it's a time of celebration. We're great about the guys we got. We're heading in the right direction. Very excited about what we're doing in the program. Like I said, first BCS win since 1999, seeing them play for the national championship. We beat Virginia Tech, and we won our first conference championship in 7 years. I still think that the sky's the limit for this group. I think we have a great coaching staff, a great group of players. And again, the administration and the people behind us as an organization that want to allow us to do things. And I'm going to tell you this, as boosters, what you do, sometimes you don't, it's like you don't always get the credit, and every little bit helps because it's an arms race and you're trying to keep up with everybody else and do the things you got to do behind the scenes. And you don't know how many people, if we actually introduce you, how many people, you come to our banquet one time, you saw how many people we introduced that we have to be able to function as a football program. All the support you give us, all the things behind the scenes that the boosters here do, and Andy Miller and those guys are doing a tremendous job of getting things out here and doing the things we got to do. And again, I would like to say, and another special thanks goes to DeVoe for what DeVoe does out here and representing us and being able to use his facility. Behind the scenes and how generous he's been to Florida State University and the mark he's leaving on this university, and how much he's helped us in athletics, and how good a friend that he and I have become, and the philosophies in which we've had, and had some good talks and learned a lot of things from him, how to run an organization and the things that we want. And he has really helped us tremendously. He's helped this university, and but we need every one of y'all. We need every single one of y'all to help do the things we have to do because we got to keep up with everything that's going on. We're going to win the national championship, which I truly believe we will, and stay at the top for a long period of time. We have to keep fighting and finding new ways to provide things for our children, and I say our children, but I'll call them my children. They are my children, 120 of them. But the things that they have to do and develop them and become the young men that they need to become. But I thank you so much. We'll get back to this, and we talk about the players here in a minute. But very excited. I thought today was a great day to be assembled. Thank you. Our signee is a guy, our quarterback signee 2 years ago named John Franklin. John's a guy which we had in camp in the past 2 years out of South Plantation in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who I think has the sky's the limit. I think he's barely scratched the surface. About 6'1 and a half, about 175 pounds. He's very athletic, has great arm strength, and also has great athleticism. John is a 10'6", 100 meters. He's a 21'4" to 200. For y'all that don't understand that, that's fine. That equates to about a 4.34, 4.35, 40. He can throw it, he can run, he's a 4.0 student. He's one of the top individuals, a great basketball player. He gave up to train for football and run track again this year. I mean, John can make plays with his arm, with his legs, and also is a great decision maker, a very talented, great leader. I mean, those guys down there he's run away from in South Florida now. I mean, those guys can run. He is a tremendous player. He's been in our camp for 2 years, and the guy just caught my eye, and I knew we were going to be able to sign. And once you get into zone read stuff and sit in that pocket and run, I mean, there's not many guys that have the skill set which he does. I think he's going to be a great player in the near future for us, there's no doubt. All right. The coach I'd like to introduce next is a guy named Randy Sanders. Randy's a guy I've known for a long time. Me and him have had quite a few battles over in the SEC. Randy played in Tennessee. He was at the University of Tennessee as a coach for 17 years. Some of y'all remember the first game he called as offensive coordinator. It was a 1998 National Championship game, Tennessee versus Florida State. And don't boo, he's on our team now. But Randy he was a running backs coach there. They coached so many first round, Jamal Lewis and some names you had, Charlie Garner, Aaron Hayden, Little Man Stewart, Jake Graham, Travis. I mean, it goes on and on as a list of who's who. He's the offensive coordinator there for 7 or 8 years. And then he went on to be Kentucky, was the offensive coordinator. Actually played against us there in the Music City Bowl. Was the offensive coordinator up there in the Music City Bowl in Kentucky. He tremendous recruiter, tremendous family guy. But he's a guy that, you know, when you go against guys in your league, I was in the SEC for 13 years. Randy was in there for 20 years. We locked up a bunch of times. He won some, I won some. But you always know when you're coaching against a guy on the other side, you respect what he did, how he coached, what he did. You always make those notes, man. If I was ever on, that'd be a guy that if he's ever on a staff, I think he'd be a great coach. Can do tremendous things, brings a lot of knowledge and wealth to our staff, and also brings a great recruiting ethic and knows the kind of level of player in which we want him to be. And has been to the places that we want to go as a university and go back to here at Florida State. Our running backs coach, Randy Sanders.
Thank you, Coach Fisher. I think I look much better in this garment than I did the orange. It was nice if you ever needed to pick up garbage at the interstate or just a quick story, and I'm not going to take long, I promise. Coach Fisher called me about joining the staff here at Florida State. So asked me if I was interested. Of course, I said yes. Said he wanted to bring me down here to look the place over. I don't need to come down here to look over, but I know what Florida State has. And he said, well, that's good enough. I'm going to put you on the phone and we'll get you a plane ticket. And I thought that was a bonus because I would have grabbed my suitcase and walked if I had. That's how excited I am to be here. I am married. I got a wife. Been married 23 years. Got 2 daughters. Got one that's a freshman in college. One that's a junior in high school. Trying to get them down here as quickly as I can. Now that recruiting's over, should have time to sell a house, buy a house, and get them there. So excited about that. The running back we signed, Ryan Green from St. Petersburg Catholic. They're a very dynamic athlete. Tremendous basketball player, track athlete. Has done a lot of different things while he was in high school for his positions, but I think he can be the kind of running back that we all want. See, the kind of guy that makes him look like a really good football coach. Tremendous parents, great kids. They committed back early. Tremendous tribute to Coach Dawsey, the type of relationship he had with him as his primary recruiter, and Coach Fisher and the rest of the staff. The kid never wavered. You know, you get a new position coach, a number of different coaching changes. The kid never wavered in his commitment. I think it speaks volumes about him as well as the type of parents he has. Looking forward to all the different things he'll be able to do for us. Not only as a ball carrier, but as a receiver out of the backfield, hopefully as a kick returner, be able to do a lot of things. So, thank you guys. I'm proud to be here, excited to be here. I'm really looking forward to the company.
He's our receiver coach, Noles247. You know, as you all know, Lawrence has been here the whole time we've been here. He and I started coaching together back in LSU. He was a GA over there and got into coaching. Immediately got to South Florida and then got back here. As you all know, Lawrence is one of the all-time greats in Florida State history as a player. He's also become one of the all-time greats as a coach. He's one of the best recruiters out there. He's doing a great job coaching our receivers, very dynamic, and our passing game coordinator. And Lawrence, as you know, is doing a tremendous job. He's done a great job of keeping this class together. Was one of our top recruiters that it is. I think he's one of the top recruiters and coaches in the country. But I didn't introduce him to see Noles247.
Blessing to be a Nole. As the situation go down, well, this is a family. And that's why this group stayed together, because of the Jimbo group and making these kids think it's a family when we get to Florida State. So it wasn't about the coaches that leave us, it's about the family. And this is not the new group of receivers that's going to become part of the Noles family. We're going to start off with who is it, Isaiah Jones. He's from Milton, Florida.
Yeah, my hometown.
A big receiver. He's also a cousin of Greg Allen, a great running back that played here back in the early 80s. But he's a beast. He's hard to bring down. I don't like to consider him a wide receiver. I like to consider him a football player because he can do so many things. As well as on special teams, he will hit you. But he's a great kid. Kid committed early, Coach Strickland did a good job on it, and the kid did not wait. I don't think he took another official visit anyway. He truly wanted to be a Nole once he committed to us. And we're so fortunate to have him. He's going to do a great job. He's a great football player. He did things that surprised me when I was like, wow, he that big and doing good. People sleep on his speed. He's a football player. The next guy is Kerr Whitfield from Orlando Jones High School. This kid should have the record for the most kickoff returns and punt returns in the state history. He got 10 that he did. 7 of them, one got called back. See, they had a total of 17. So that's a specialist kid in the ball. This kid also ran the state championship in the 100 and the 200. He won the national championship. I know he won the state, but he also won the national championship. That's right, this kid is also cousin of Marvin Brayson. So our track team is winning the national championship through our football program. This last kid is probably going to be the speaker of the troop, I think, because he's very much on the radar, but he's a great football player. He also is a speaker. He's 5'11", 175, and he's rocking up. He make that body that he got look real good when he take on this trip. He's got the speed. He came to camp. What really impressed me about this kid, when he came to camp in the summertime, 3 years in a row, demanded to give you respect out there. He did a great job in camp. That's what really got the kid good about what he did in camp. He just had a great senior year down there in Miami. We are fortunate to have those kids. All 3 of these kids that we got at wide receiver, once they committed, they was committed. And I'm the kind of kids you want in the program. When they know what they want to do, they want to be part of a great organization. And I'm proud to be coaching all 3 of them kids. Thank you.
4-3-4, 4-3-2 guys that they can flat fly now. I mean, they're really good players. Our next coach, again, needs no introduction. He's been here with me the whole time. He and I have coached together for years and years, been friends for a great long time. I think he did an unbelievable job of our offensive line this year, playing with all the sophomores. And then taking a left tackle that never played on offense before, made him an all-SEC player. Took a right tackle that I think he screwed up and did too good a job with. Made a guy come in here and played 8 games, and he played a year, now he's only in the first round of the NFL draft. Guy played 18 games of football, and he's in the NFL as the first round draft pick. And I think he screwed. I'm mad at you for that. You should have coached him down. We could have used him all year. Screwed that one up. But our offensive line coach, one of the best line guys in the country, Rick Trick.
Before they get started on that film, they was talking about Sleepless, and I started laughing because I like the movie Sleepless in Seattle. And this year, Coach Pruitt had to leave to go to Seattle to see a recruit, and I was kind of tickled about it, so I was busting him. You know, he was leaving, getting on the plane real early, and we were all out on the road. I forget where I was at, Orlando or somewhere. So I recruited all day. Worked all day, and I said, well, I'll call Jeremy to see how it went. So I called Pruitt, and I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm on the plane. I said, well, how'd the visit go? He said, no, hell no, I'm on the plane. We just landed in Seattle. I hadn't even been to the house yet. So I forgot it was about a 7.5-hour trip out there and back. So he was definitely sleepless when he landed back. But I tell you what, he saw the kid, got on a plane, and flew straight back on the red eye and worked the next day. That's why this team and this staff put this thing together this year with the guys that Jim hired and stuff, and I think we're a lot better. Okay? That's what I think. know, I had an old coach tell me one time, don't worry about the ones you didn't get, worry about the ones you got. And I'll tell you what, we got 3 right here we'll get after. I think this is Wilson Bell, played over in Mobile, Alabama, and Jeremy come in and knew the young man and took us over there, took me over there. As soon as I saw him, I talked to him about 30 minutes, told him he had a scholarship. His hands are about that long, and his feet are about that long. So if he grows into that, he's about 295, 300 pounds now. This young man, Howard Denson, I don't know how they rated him the number 4 guard. Everywhere he went this year, he dominated in every facet. He won every combine. He went to Oregon, was the MVP. He was the MVP in Orlando. And he's a little bit shorter than he is back there. But he never wavered. He was another one that killed. When he committed to Florida State, he was Florida State. And he likes to play football. Forget me putting on his tattoos. And Brian Hofield, the kid we had in camp, came over in camp, and I really liked him from the first time I saw him in camp. He real quick kid. He reminds me of the kid I had in West Virginia, Dan Moses, played tackle in high school. Moved into center, and he won the Remington Award. And I think this kid right here has got the same ability, same potential. Again, committed to Florida State, never wavered, never took another visit, stayed true to the cause, and did a heck of a job for it. So I think these groups have got a really good football.
There's a guy which I've got to know in the last few years of coaching. I've coached against him a bunch of years, admired what he did. And Billy Naker, he's our tight ends coach, and he was a guy that he was a GA at Clemson University for Coach Tommy Bowden when Tommy was there. And then Tommy hired him as a tight end guy there after he became a GA. And when the jobs came open, Tommy immediately called me and he said, this guy's a heck of a football coach. He was the offensive coordinator there at one time for 2 years at Clemson. One of the great years they had here. He says he's the best recruiter I had on staff in the whole 12 years I was at Clemson. He says that he's coached quarterbacks, he coached running backs, he coached receivers, he coached tight ends. And he said he's a great guy. He gets the big picture. He's been a coordinator. He understands. He's a great idea guy. And he's got a lot of great connections throughout the state of Georgia and Florida. And one of the best guys we could have got for the job. No doubt. Billy Naker.
First of all, thank Coach Fisher for the opportunity. It's great to be at a place like Florida State. There's not many events like this across the country. After signing day, you got this many people to show up, and that's what college football is all about. But I'm going to fly back to Colorado tomorrow and pack up a wife and a 7-month-old daughter and see her twice in 50 days. We was upstairs eating before we came downstairs, and you going through the line, I saw that bacon on top of them green beans. I said, hey, it's great to be back in the South. We're very fortunate this year to sign an outstanding young man. Jeremy's from St. Petersburg, Florida, played for Joe Fabrizio. A great kid. Charlie and Joanne Kerr. Outstanding family. This kid is 6'6", 255 pounds. And you know, when we go out looking for a tight end to play on the line of scrimmage and dominate that C gap and set the edge on all of our outside zone, this guy can do it. I think he's got the athletic ability to be a sufficient receiver too. This is an unselfish kid. He actually, there were some injuries on his team. He had to move in and play offensive tackle on his team. He did a great job. This is a kid that's going to represent your program, a great student, and we feel has got great ability, and we're excited to get a chance to coach this young man. Jeremy Kerr is going to make you guys proud, and I'm excited to coach. Thank you.
He's a guy that I've actually known for a long time. I watched him as a high school coach. He was in one of the most successful programs in the country, not just in the state of Alabama. He coached at Hoover, Alabama, was defense coordinator there, was defensive back coach. And just like a lot of young coaches, I like to watch when I come to camp and all these high school coaches come to work. Not only they bring players, those guys working. I like to watch those guys for up and comers, guys that can jump out at you. You know, one day that guy can be a college football coach. That guy gets the big picture. His work ethic, his relationships, the way he talks, the way he does things. You know he's destined for some greatness and some things ahead of him. And you know, I find a lot of coaches that way. And when I was watching this guy, I asked him after I was coaching at LSU. I saw him coach, and I said, you know, that guy, he won't be here long. Somebody's going to snatch him up and give him an opportunity. That's definitely what happened. Well, I had an opportunity to, on my staff, because, you know, Coach Stoops just left and did a tremendous job as our defensive coordinator, got the head coaching job in Kentucky, and we had to find a replacement. And we've had one of the top defenses in the country. So I had a list of names and all these guys that I wanted to interview and talk to, and I talked to 2 or 3 guys, and on the phone, some guys I knew about and things, and I said, there's a list of guys I had to come in here. And I brought Jeremy in for an interview, and I sat down and talked to him. And, you know, as you get to talk to a guy, you ask him questions. How would you do this? How would you do that? How would you defend this? What would you do here? How would you put pressure on the quarterback? How would you do this short yard? How would you defend the spread offense? The things, you know, how would we do the different things in football? Just to play the offense. We went through from A to Z. And actually, when we did the interview, I planned on interviewing him, talking about it. And I planned on sending him home, maybe talk to another guy or two. And understanding I wanted to know what his philosophies were, what he believed here, there, what he thought, how he would do this, what he was recruiting. And when I got done with the job, I planned on having all those other guys. I yelled into Joy and I said, Joy, you can cancel all those appointments. She said, why? I said, because I'm offering Jeremy Pruitt the job. So when I got done with the interview, and you know, you see what you like, you know what you like, you know the guys that have the same philosophies and background in which you believe in, and believes the same way to have success is very similar to the way you do, and ties the offense to the defense and understands it's not defense and offense, it's a team, and their relationship with what they do. But I think this guy's going to be one of the great coaches in college football in town. I think he has a brilliant mind. He's a tremendous recruiter, and we're blessed to have him on our staff, Jeremy Pruitt.
Appreciate that, Jimbo. And Candy, after we play that first game, if you need to say the same stuff, let me know. But this night's about recruiting, and if you've not been involved in recruiting before, to see what the 4 guys from, I'm going to call it the original staff, what they've done over the last 3 weeks to keep this class together is unbelievable. And it's about relationships. It's about trust, and what Lawrence, Odell, and Rick, and Jimbo done for the last 3 weeks to keep this class together is unbelievable. The rest of us just kind of jumped in and we just followed their lead. And I mean, I'm sure Coach Kelly's going to talk about him here later, but Matthew Thomas, we don't get Matthew Thomas without Jimbo Fisher. And his connections, recruiting Miami and all that deal, it was unbelievable. But I'm going to tell you this, with those 4 guys and the other guys that's added this staff, we got a great recruiting class this year. But after we all kind of get together and start working, and we have 12 months to put together, we're going to be a little higher up on that deal next year. And I'm excited about that. But I just wanted to say this. I know every one of you out here, you're all enthralled with this recruiting deal, okay? You all want to help out. I'm going to give you some things that I'm looking for in defensive backs before I talk to you about it, okay? So when you're watching the warchant.com or the Rivals or whatever it is we watch, okay? When we're talking about defensive backs, the first thing we want to see is can the guy play man-to-man? If he can play man-to-man, that's great. Okay, the next thing, can he play the ball in the deep part of the field? All right, can he tackle in space? Okay, so every night when you go on that deal, you YouTube and all this deal, and you throw these names up for this 2014 class, before you email or send a suggestion, make sure he can do those 3 things. Because that's the criteria that we're looking for a defensive back at Florida State. Now, the good thing is, we got 3 guys in this class that can do it all. Okay? Really good players. And I'm going to tell you this. I would not trade them for any 3 in the country. I don't care where they're at. Okay? Anywhere in the country, they can do it all. And I don't even know who the first guy on the deal, but you can start it and I'll talk about it. Nate Andrews, he may be my favorite. I've been recruiting Nate since he was in the 9th grade. Nobody knows a whole lot about him. He was a wide receiver, he played quarterback, he played defensive back. The thing about Nate is this, okay, he's one of the toughest guys you'll ever meet. He's got great ability, great character, all right, and the bigger the occasion, the better Nate plays. Say it again. Oh yeah. Well, the one thing Bob heard Jimbo say today, everybody, it's a little different here than it was in Alabama. Everybody hears the quarterback first. Which nobody's Nate's going to be a really good player. And the thing about Nate, when he said, I'm coming to Florida State, he didn't worry about going to another place. He just started working out. I called him the other night. I said, Nate, anybody talking to you? He said, Coach, I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't answering the phone. The next guy, Jalen Ramsey. Jalen's got great size. Okay, and that's one thing we want. We want great size. He's got size, he's got speed, and the good thing about all three of these guys is they got great mamas and daddies. All three of them come from two-parent homes, which is unusual this day and time. I've known Jalen's dad, and I saw Robbie Roberts out here from my MTSU days. I didn't play with Jalen's dad, but I played with one of his friends, so I've known him for a while. But Jalen's got a chance to be a really good player, great character kid. He's a track guy, a decathlon, he's a state champion in Tennessee as a decathlon. Marquez White, right up here in Dothan, Alabama. Same high school as Lawrence Dawson, Northview. Marquez, I've known since he was in the 9th grade. He's 6'1" or 6 foot, 170 pounds. Right? And as you can see, great skills. The thing about Marquez is this: I feel like I can shoot the basketball a little bit. Ain't nobody out there guarding. I went and played him and Horse for a week. I didn't win a game. Marquez was also one of our best recruiters. I'm going to tell you this while we're looking at Marquez. Bob put a lot of cut-ups on him. But Rick told a story about me. I'm going to tell a story about Rick. I just Wilson Bell did. We walk in there. This is my first visit with Rick Trickett. Alright? So we walk in there, and he looks at him and he says, son, let me see your hands. He sticks them up there, and of course they're twice Rick's size. And he says, what size shoe you wear? Alright? Then the third question was, do you mind if I cuss? He said, because if you do, me and Jeremy's going to go back to Tallahassee. I'm excited to be at Florida State. Can't wait for this meeting next year.
He did say on there, Marquez White from Dothan, he actually been recruiting basketball. He worked was 44 inches. And Jalen Ramsey, who was the first time he ever ran track, he's going to do both two sports here. He's going to do the long jump here and work track. He was a decathlon champion of the state of Tennessee. He long jumps 24'11", 24 feet 11 inches. It's the first time he'll break 25 feet. He's 6'1", 195 pounds. I mean, very athletic, very explosive guys, have a lot of athleticism. Next coach, again, needs no introduction. He's been on my staff, the original staff. He's been here for 20 years. And he's coached as many great players here as anybody. He was a great player himself. He was an All-American. And he's doing a tremendous job with our defensive linemen. And as you saw last year, we're #1 in the country in run defense. That starts up front with those inside tackles. He's got another great, talented young group of guys that he'll develop like he always does. Odell Higgins.
My support system at home, my beautiful wife Robin Vegas, and my daughter Amelia Vegas. Dawson, you you're right, family. You're right about that. It's great to be assembled. And Jimbo, I'm about to fall out right here, standing up there last night. Believe me. But, hey, like you say, the rest of the guys and I can't say enough. Pruitt and Billy and the closer right here, Charles Kelly, and Coach Sanders, where my man Sal at. Hey guys, hey, when y'all came in, y'all just don't know you gave me a boost. I appreciate you guys very much. His name is Keith Rank from Atlantic High School, Delray Beach, Florida. I had this kid ever since he was in the 9th grade. He's 6'2", 305 pounds. He fit our need. He's quick, fast, he's very explosive at the point of time. You know, Keith was committed to the University of Miami for about 4 or 5 months, and his heart told him he wasn't a Hurricane, he was a Seminole. This kid came to my camp every year. He came to our camp every year, and we worked with him. And a young man, you know, he just stood it out and proved it. Old Keith went out talking recruiters too. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for the support. Like Coach Fisher said, without you all, we can't do it. Thank you all for the support. God bless.
For a long time. I coached with him back at LSU many years ago, and did a tremendous job there. More than y'all Seminole fans will remember when you played the Pitt Panthers back in the 80-81 season, 82 season. This guy was an All-American middle linebacker at Pitt when they were doing the Dan Marino days. As he would say, they weren't Dan Marino days, it was Sal Sincere days. They went to high school together also. He overshadowed Dan in high school too. No one up there knew who Dan was, but he got some Dolphins. But no, Sal was a tremendous player, played with the Pittsburgh Steelers and got hurt, was a linebacker. And then I got to know Sal when we coached at LSU, and one of the great recruiters, I think, in all of college football, one of the great individual coaches. He's had a ton of experience. He's coached in the NFL. He's coached some of the best players. Coached Julius Peppers and Chris Jenkins, and had about 8 or 9 All-Pros when he coached in the NFL for about 8 years. Some of the best players in the NFL. Done a tremendous job. He was at Alabama, all the All-Americans in which he's coached. And just a little bit of time here has done an unbelievable job. Sal's, again, a relentless worker, a great guy, and will be a huge addition to this staff, and we're very blessed to have him. Sal Sincere.
I believe in what Jimbo says. One thing is evident, my wife's with me tonight. She'd stand up over there. Now you know I'm a good recruiter. Jimbo, coverage on that, you know what I'm saying? But I tricked her too. She thought I was going early in the draft. I went the 10th round. I'm extremely blessed to be here. I'm going to say something. We're very, very fortunate to be with Jimbo. As I was sitting home and I was waiting to see what I was going to do, if I was going to go back to the National Football League or if I was going to stay in college football, my wife said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, it's real simple, honey." I said, "I kind of got spoiled at the other place I was at. I won 2 national championships. And if there's a place that I want to go that I believe it's on the rise," I said, "I want to go to Florida State. I want to coach with Jimbo, and I want you to be with Candy and Tara and the rest of his family." So that is true. I will say this to you guys, Jeremy and I have been together for a while. We've had some great experiences. Charles would come in, and I think it's amazing when I came down here for the Sugar Bowl and was watching Odell coach. He does a great job. Now I know why so many defensive linemen from Florida State are in the National Football League. So Odell, my hat's off to you, and more importantly, the man you are, I hope I am someday. Charles Kelly came over when we were over there, boys. He's a good, fine guy. We're going to have a good defense, guys. Let me just tell you, our ass is going to get me. So, you all understand. One thing I want to let you know is that, you know, the Of course, you know, the defensive ends that have been around here have been pretty darn good. And when I came in here, Jimbo had me look at this guy, this DeVaris Bryant from New Smyrna, from right down there near Daytona. He told me, he said, Sal, I want you to look at this guy. And before we really start this thing rolling, I don't want anybody to understand, this guy's only played in 10 games. He was a basketball player that kept coaching like come out and never went through two-a-days or nothing. His quickness, his speed, his athleticism, his ability to drive inside or outside to make plays is going to make this kid a whole heck of a lot of money someday because he's very, very special. And more importantly, he's a fine, fine human being. He's so excited to be part of Florida State. It's unbelievable. And I can't wait to really coach this guy because his football to me is really ahead of him. You know? The next guy is Desmond Hollins. He was up at junior college. He's originally from Miami South Ridge. And when you watch Des, he's so big and he's so athletic. He's 6'4". He's 275 pounds. And when you can stick your foot in the ground and plant and drive and do the things, he tips the ball, intercepts it. I mean, this young man has a ton of ability also. He's explosive. He's going to be a force out there. And more importantly, this young man was so excited to come back home and be part of the Seminole that, you know, it's exciting. You call him every night and you're worried about other people jumping in and he's an outcomes. I'm coming to Florida State. Great player. This last guy, DeMarcus Walker, he's 6'3", he's 265. He's on campus right now. He's from out of Jacksonville. He's out of Sandalwood. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. The last place I was at, he came out and he worked out for me, and I put him through an NFL-type workout. And I saw what he was able to do, and I immediately told Jeremy, I said, no matter what we do, we've got to get this young man in the program. He's explosive, he's strong, and let me just tell you this. He is every bit of 260, 270 right now, and this young man can run. And the thing that's exciting about him is that he's doing everything right now. And we're going to keep that going. But he's an explosive young man, and he's playing good football. Let me just say this. You don't get a chance to go recruit great players without being at a place with such great tradition. Let me just tell you that. And the other thing, you know, is when it comes down to the last final edge, when you got to sit down and they've got to sit with the boss, you need somebody that can close. And Jeremy hit the nail right on the head. And I knew this when I was at LSU with Jimbo, is that just what a great recruiter he was. And my hats is off to him and to the rest of the guys that were here, because this was a hard 3 months. But it's like anything else. You know, we're used to just, you know, putting on our pants, putting our shirts on, and we're going to go to work. And thank God Jimbo was focused so the way he was and had the rest of us. This class is a pretty good class, so it's even going to get better. So thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Our next coach is a guy that I've known for a long, long time. Actually, the first Division I job I ever had, Division I-A job I ever had at Auburn, he was actually a GA on our staff back in 1993. First time I ever get to know him. And at that time I said, you know, you always know GAs. You look at him and you say, this guy's going to be a GA and never get another job. This guy's going to go to here. This guy can be an administrative guy. And then you say, certain guy, you know, this guy's got, he has the it factor. This guy can coach, he can recruit, he can relate, he understands the game. This guy's going to be a great coach in this business one day. And Charles Kelly, our linebacker coach, I knew that from the day he was our GA. You know, Charles and I remained friends for a long time. We have some very common friends that are very good friends of his, very good friends of mine. That we stayed in touch. We always said we'd like to coach together one day. And the first opportunity I got, I told him, I said I was going to be able to hire. This guy's a tremendous recruiter. He knows people. He can, as they say, he can close. People love him in the house. He's a tremendous football coach. He can coach second, he can coach corners, he can coach safeties, he can coach the front, he can coach the linebacker, which he's coaching here. Does a tremendous job. He's a great special teams guy. And he was a guy at Georgia Tech last year when Georgia Tech was 2-4, giving up about 550 yards a game. That he took over the defense in the middle of the year. It hadn't changed. Didn't have a full spring, didn't have anything. All they did was go play us in the ACC championship the last half of that season. He got their defense down to giving up 380 yards a game for 550 without any spring in the middle of the season. The guy's a great ball coach, has a great future in this business, and more importantly, I think he's a finer human being than he is coach. One of the best guys I've ever been around. Charles Kerr.
Apologize for my voice. Coach Fisher, we got introduced to the fourth quarter drills yesterday, and that was the first time that I got to work with the linebackers. So I tell my daughters, this is my encouraging voice. But listen, it's an honor to be at Florida State. I'll tell you this, when Coach called and asked me about coming to Florida State, there were three things that I looked at. And it was no different than what these recruits chose. First of all, this is a great university. And not only does it affect the next 4 years of your life, it'll affect the next 40 years of your life. Second reason is because of Jimbo Fisher. I know what kind of person he is. And I believe this. I believe in business, in sales, whatever, you're going to attract what you are. And that, that meant a lot to me. And then the third thing was to have a chance to win a national championship. Bar none. That was the thing that sold me. And I know the coaches on this staff. I've coached with a lot of these guys before, and I know what kind of people they are. I know what kind of players that we have here right now because we play against them. So I know, and I know how close we are. I'm excited about coaching the linebackers. There's been a lot of stuff said the last 3 weeks. Well, Coach, everybody's trying to recruit your linebackers. Well, you know what? If nobody was trying to recruit them, we're recruiting the wrong one. It's been great here getting to know these kids and these families. The first guy we have right here, I believe it's going to be Roderick Hoskins. Roderick is one thing you'll hear me talk about linebackers. You have to be very, very versatile. This guy is an incredible football player. He's tall, he's got strength, he's very quick. The first time Coach Pruitt and I watched him on film, I was like, you got to rewind this guy. He's like a flash. But he can do all the things that you need to do. He can play the run, he can play in coverage, and he can get after your ass and get after your comes from a great family. Mom was very good through the process. His stepdad, boy, they really wanted to be at Florida State. To me, that's one of the most important things about recruiting the guy is to make sure he wants to be here. E.J. Levenberry, E.J. is a big linebacker. We feel like that, he can do some things for us in the middle. He's got very good size right now. He's 6'3", about 230 pounds. I would imagine he's probably going to play about 245, 250. He's good in coverage for a big guy. He's got really good range. He'll also be good in a lot of the pressure stuff that we do, and he'll be able to get to the quarterback also. EJ, the other thing he has going for him, he is very football intelligent. He picks up things very well, and it's been a real good. We've had some good meetings, and everything you go over with him, he picks up on a consistent basis. So we're very fortunate to have him. Terrell Lyons Terrell, first of all, is a great young man. He is going to be an asset to Florida State for years to come. But he is a very versatile player. He is a hybrid type linebacker. In today's offenses that you play, 1 week you're playing the spread, 1 week you're playing the option. He can do everything. He can go out and cover a slot. He can cover tight ends. He can do all those things that you need to do. And the other thing, he's a physical player. The one thing all these linebackers have to be able to do is they have to be able to play special teams. And that's the one thing we feel like all these guys can do. Freddie Stevenson, wow, what a great kid. I mean, big guy, got a great nose for the football, physical, plays with his hands. He does things coming out of high school that a lot of guys, it takes 2 years to do. He is already here on campus, and the thing that impresses me about him is he is always trying to learn. He'll be in that office right by himself, watching video, and he has never got, for 2 days, being on the field with him, he's going to be a guy that's going to push, and he's going to compete, and that's what we want all of our guys to do. Brady's going to be a great football player here. Matthew Thomas. Now, I don't have to say a whole lot about Matthew, because my 10-year-old daughter knew all about him. She went on the internet, and she knew everything. But the thing that impressed me more about Matthew than anything was what type of kid he is. He comes from a great family. This was an interesting recruiting story for me. Coach Fisher has done a great job in developing a relationship with his family. The one thing that I learned, his mother came from the Republic of Suriname. And during the process over the last 3 weeks, I did some research and where her people came from. It was an amazing story of how she's come to this country and raised these kids. I'll tell you one day in the near future, everybody's going to be proud that he's a Florida State graduate. And the one thing that I'll say about recruiting and, you know, a little bit about my family. My wife, Christy, she was actually a hostess when Coach Fisher was at Auburn. That's how we met. We had 3 daughters, all 3 daughters. They got up this morning, she said, they had their Florida State jerseys on, and I don't know how a 10-year-old gets their teacher to text every time a linebacker letter of intent came in. Good job, Daddy. I appreciate the opportunity to work with these coaches. You have great people working at Florida State, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. Thank you.